मैले पढाएको थिएँ कतै न कतै प्राइम मिनिस्टरलाई चाहिँ हजुरले 90s भेट्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई बिलिभ अमेरिकन एम्बेसडर
she
introduced भन्ने मैले पढाएको थिएँ. What was the story all about?
Well, what happened was, I was already back and working, and there used to be cocktails, receptions, and all that. So my parents also used to be going, and ma pani janthi, malai ni bolaunthiyo. So then, one of these receptions I met Julia Chang Block, and she asked me, what is a lady like you doing, not married in Nepal? Because, I mean, everyone my age was married.
हजुर 30s मा हुनुहुन्थ्यो.
I think when I met her first, I was around 29. So then she asked me, what are you doing, like not married and all? So I said, I haven't found anyone interesting enough to settle down with. Then next party she met me, she said, I found somebody interesting for you. She was good friends with my husband, Rita. And she was very clever. She was a very strategic lady. She told my mother, Jat was a big issue. So she told my mother, मैले एकदम ठकुरी केटा खोज्दैछु यो छोरीलाई अब you better फकाओ. And she didn't tell her or me who. And then she called me for a reception at the American Embassy. The Marine Ball हुन्छ November ma. So she called me for the Marine Ball. She said, we'll have a few drinks, then we'll go to the Marine Ball. It was in the Everest, I remember. So I said, huncha. So I went in my little black dress, because that's how I used to dress. I'm a Kathmanduite, I didn't know who I was meeting. So little black dress, stilettos, whatever I used to wear. Guy. And right at the gate, my husband had just gotten off his car, and I didn't recognize him, because I see him on television, with Nepali topi and all that, people look so different. So she introduced me and she said, Arzu, this is who I want you to meet. Sher Bahadur, the Home Minister. I said, oh no. I said, I want to do a right about turn and run away, but I couldn't do that. I mean, it would be bad manners, So so we met there, and we just had a couple of drinks, and I tried my best to avoid him, because I was not getting married to any politician, and ruining my life from this nice, happy life that I was having. I say, oh, no. Then we went to the ball. Ani त्यहाँ पनि पुरै गर्न पाएन. There was a lot of music and also. But that's how she introduced us. And for 2 years, we lost contact. Then she would keep calling my office. And it was so embarrassing for me. Kaile चिया बोला, comfort tea भन्ने, kaile let's go for a picnic भन्ने. And I used to tell the reception people, say, म छैन है. So first 2 years त त्यतिकै गयो. But अब त्यस्तै हुँदो रहेछ. फेरि after 2 years we met at उसमा भेट्यो. अनि बिचमा again she called me कतिचोटि नाइ भन्ने American ambassadorलाई हैन. So once she called me for another dinner. She said, it's my house. I said, okay. So I went. Then त्यहाँबाट she said, oh, the dinner's not in my place, it's in somebody else's. As हाम्रो DCM को घरमा dinner. So I said, हुन्छ. I went there. And then she was there. My husband was also there. I remember Indira Rana, who was a judge, she was also there. Then she happily tells me, I have another place to go to. See you, bye. And he was the only person I knew in that party. He and then Indira Rana. So then we got talking. Then I realized, okay, he's a pretty interesting guy. He's not bad. And then he gave me he asked for my number. So I gave it to him. And then he never called. So I thought, hey, how he didn't call. He must not be interested. He called. But, in these old Rana houses, we have all this paraphernalia for Dhayama, Didi and all. So I didn't have a Dhai, but she was my Didi, very protective of me. So actually called my husband. He called and she said, Ko, Kina, why? So he got so embarrassed, he put the phone down. And after that, being my husband, he lost the number. So we never got in touch for 2 years. Then I was working with the Canadians. And I used to look after the water projects and all. So a team was coming from the US, from Canada. And I was worried because I was managing the whole thing. We were going to Karnali Chisapani, booking a plane ride and all that. So then, Argo reception, I think it was July 4th reception.
4th of July.
Then I saw he was the Home Minister still. So I went up to him and I said, is it going to be a bun tomorrow? I'm like, I've got people coming via Canada. And he was so funny. He told me, and I remember Ridesh Tripathi ji and Vijay Pandey was standing with him. And he said, hey, म गरिदिइहाल्छु नि. Then he said, Maharani, you know, my garland is almost dry. When are you going to say yes? I almost fainted. I mean, I hardly knew Vijay Pandya and Hridesh Tripathi. They were also like stunned looking at his proposal, so was I. So I said, hey, Asas, I'll get in touch and ran away from there. And I came home and I told my mother, is this the one your man said? My mother was like so thrilled. She said, hey, he really likes you, right? You must marry this guy. So I said, Khoi. And bichma pani had sent proposal, but kiki boy, my father said no and kiki bharecha, which I didn't know. But anyways, त्यो पछि चाहिँ लाइक अब त्यही अब यो हुन लेखा रहेछ. नेक्स्ट डे नै वान कजन अफ माइन्ड केम हु इज अल्सो हिज फ्रेन्ड टु भिजिट माई मदर. सो माई मदरले तुरुन्तै पठाएर कुरा गराएर एन्ड समहाउ इट अल जस्ट ह्यापन.
Match made in heaven?
Yeah. I guess whatever is written in your fate, that happens, you know. So my son keeps asking, why did you wait to get married till you're so old?
Yeah.
Because he wanted siblings. I used to tell him, I'm too old, you know, I can't have siblings. Yeah.
The thing is, कस्तो interesting, there's an interesting word that came out, faith. Do you believe in भाग्यमा कतिको विश्वास गर्नुहुन्छ म्याम?
एकदमै. Whatever is written in your fate, that is going to happen to you. That's why I'm एकदम निस्फिक्री मान्छे. I never take stress or tension. I believe a lot in God. जे लेखेको छ त्यही हुन्छ. So if मेरो फेटमा लेखा छ कि I'm going to be prime minister, I will be, whoever stops. अब last time पनि, who would have imagined that Sher Bahadur Deuba and Nepali Congress will be in the leadership in the next election? I mean, if you look at it, हाम्रो कुनै कसैको पनि political analysis thinking गर्दा हुन नपर्ने हो नि. But somewhere it was written. So he became. So यो चाहिँ अनि उहाँको चिनामा लेखा छ. अहिले पनि it says very good times. So I'm a Hindu by birth, I'm a Hindu by practice, I believe in astrology. So, hola. I believe a lot. Biane uthera, I always do part. Every morning I have my 4 or 5 parts around half an hour. I do part and focusing. And part means for me meditation, you know, because doing the mantras is like you need a lot of effort. And to focus on the words you're doing is a challenge. And, you know, I don't say it 108 times and all that because I can't. I can maybe focus for 15 times, koi mantra 11 times, but I do that every day. I think it helps me.
If you love what we are doing, make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications.
This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios. Thank you very much for watching us on YouTube. Make sure that you also listen to us on Spotify.